Get lost, a second-hand woman like you. How can I, Jungkook, take a fancy to you? I'm pregnant with Jungkook's child, and you are carrying up wine. If you insist on competing with me, you cannot compare to me. The news is too sudden. How did you get used to it so quickly? He faintly smiled. Who said the news was very sudden to you? It is sudden, but to me. This matter has been stuck with me for more than 18 years. Moreover, I have investigated your identity for a long time. After a whole day of tormenting, you were so tired, so you slept, but the cruel people didn't leave your side at all. The moment you wake up, you found yourself into the unfamiliar room. An entire room was bright. You sat up and looked around the hotel room, then went to wash yourself. One of the aunt came to deliver breakfast. She was gentle and kind. Mr. Kim actually prepared all of this. He came in the middle of the night. The aunt was polite and brings some healthy food for you. You give aunt the notebook that belongs to Sokjin, telling her to return it to him, but she didn't dare to take it. She was afraid that she will lost it, so you put back safely again. As breakfast was already brought, you are ready to eat, but suddenly doorbell rang repeatedly. You walked slowly, thinking it might be Mr. Kim, and wanted to look at by the peephole, but phone rang. You saw the caller ID, but didn't pick up for a while. I heard your ringtone sound. Quickly opened the door and welcomed this lady. You didn't expect and looked through the peephole just to found Jenny's Zoom face impatiently banging on the door. You immediately opened. She came forward directly, squeezing you, scolding for a while, and then saw dishes on the table. Wow, your life is too good. You have so much to eat. You closed door behind. I was still wondering if you would starve to death in the hotel alone and wanted to bring you out to eat breakfast. I didn't expect that. I was worried for nothing. You walked and sat down, telling her to eat as well. Since you are here, then you should sit down and eat together. Anyway, I can't finish all of them by myself. Jenny came to you. Later on, Sokjin came to accompany you. Jenny didn't expect it as she was stunned. You didn't know how to explain it to her as you still didn't accept it. This kinship came too quickly, like a tornado. Sokjin informed that he will have lunch together with you and went to do his office work. You returned his notebook. Mr. Kim, was not it the same surname as that green tea, Kim Juri? Wow, Wine could snatch her brother. You frowned. What nonsense are you talking about? Did I guess wrong? But if I'm wrong, then why is he here? He's Kim Juri's older brother. Wine, you must not be fooled. She grabbed your hand anxiously. I would rather you interact with Deputy Director John, young Master John's elder brother, in the future when that little piece of shits really get together with young Master John. She will have to call you sister-in-law. You give her stern look to stop talking nonsense. She didn't digest things, but you give her hint that your relationship with Sokjin was not that she was probably thinking, so you signaled her to shut up for now. At noon, Sokjin really came to have lunch, and it was awkward as Jenny kept faking cheeky smile, making Sokjin frown, but his eyes was filled with concern about you. Kim Group's director came to have lunch at hotel with them. This kind of things was so fantastical. She went out to buy some snacks as a welcoming for Mr. Kim. Sokjin wanted to talk about many things with you, but as you are already adults and you have your own thoughts, he can confirm just by looking at you that you are his sister. At tiny you and your brother keep talking, he actually started to tease a little. If you really stayed depressed like last time, I can see a ring and I will say that I can remove that. Can you share what was the matter? You hide your fingers nervously. You still didn't take off your marriage ring. Forget it, you will not tell. It was Kim family and you don't want their cooperation to stop. Plus, you still needed time. You mentioned about the jury and his expression changed serious. Then tell you that he will settle that matter after she got discharged. You felt pity for her, but you won't be soft hurt for that. Sokjin thought that you want to see her since you and Yuri had been friends for years and he knew it, but you directly refused and looked at him, thinking something. Will Mr. Kim think that I will become arrogant after I fly up the branch? Silly girl. You were stunned. Then he made you realize that you deserve to be spoiled. Even you wanted to be arrogant, you can, but he believed in his sister that you will not do anything that make Kim family lose their pride. Kim family's member always have noble manner. In the future, the entire Kim family will be backing you. These words were sincere, and it will be lie if you say you were not touched. Your nose was a little sour, so you excused yourself to go bathroom. You stayed for a long time. Jenny bring coffee and some snacks for Sokjin. Mr. Kim, I bought you coffee and some snacks. Please accept them. He took it, thank you, and take out his wallet. How much? She was scared and take a big step back. No need, no need. It's not expensive. His expression was cold, and even he insisted to return the money. Jenny kept refusing. So at last he sat there and drank, but you didn't came out for long. He wiped the corner of his mouth. I still have a meeting. Please tell her that I'm leaving. She immediately nodded and walked him to the door. After confirming that he had left, she closed the door and knocked on the washroom door. Wine, where did you go? Kim Sokjin left. You can come out now. She thought you were hiding from him. You came out washing your face. She started to blabber that Sokjin's temperament was serious and you both quite look similar. When the both of you calmed down, you turned your head. Do I look like him? She nodded and explained about features and hugged your arms. She wondered if this all things was given by him. He was so nice to you and doing all this kind of this. So she looked at you like that case, but you hit her arm slightly. Did you misunderstand something again? No. She covered her mouth with a smile. I didn't misunderstand anything. Don't worry. It doesn't matter if you want to live here. I will come every day to accompany you. Then thank you. I hope you really come to accompany me, not to freeload and eat. Wine, your words are too much. You both laughed. In the following days, you stayed in the hotel for 4 days and didn't get out of there at all. Life could be sad to be eating, sleeping, and thinking. All need from the outside work was isolated. It didn't felt bad, but there was people who couldn't let you have peace. Mrs. Zhou came to visit you with her daughter. She seemed like unwilling, and the hatred and anger filled in her eyes. You moved a little to welcome her in. You are not my elder sister anymore. You are the heirs of the Kim family. Do you still recognize a younger sister like me who doesn't have anything? Mrs. Zhu faked a smile, saying that Dani was throwing tantrum to meet you, so she bring her here. Since the childhood relationship between you two are always been great as sibling. Dani was mad, and you can't deny that you're not her elder sister. In the past or present, you will be her elder sister. When she saw your welcoming smile, she didn't believe and got emotional. Older sister, you are still willing to acknowledge me as your younger sister? You smiled. Although you get angry at her sometimes, she was a demon spirit, and coaxing her a few times will make her happy. She thought that she lost her elder sister after Kim family came to claim you as their daughter. Dani apologized for her immature manner, but Mrs. Yu had other intention for visiting Yu. She looked around and started to examine. She wanted to go and see Kim family's mansion to take a look. Dani's expression was awkward. Wine quickly go and tidy up the things. We will send you to the Kim family's mansion. It was not safe for you to stay here. You didn't move and looked at her coldly. You couldn't maintain your smile anymore. I don't want to go to the Kim family. I like living here. You, are you stupid? Mrs. Yu worried about that. Your seat will be snatched away by others, but that kind of place would be in the hands of right owners. Sooner or later, I'm afraid that I can't make it for Mrs. Yu, so you can go and ask by yourself. Your expression was indifference. Mrs. Yu looked shocked. You? What did you call me? You actually called me Mrs. Yu. You faintly smiled. Since I'm not a woman of your family, then naturally I can only call you Mrs. Yu. You want to cut ties with our Yu family, right? How can you deny your past? Let me tell you, I raised you by myself back then. I was the one there for you. How can you deny? No one denied your credit. Therefore, Mrs. Yu didn't have to rush to say these things. What the Yu family deserves, the Kim family will definitely not treat you badly. She narrowed her eyes angrily. Do you mean mom is taking credit? Do you really think that you can look down on others so arrogantly just because you are on a branch? You scoffed. Who am I looking down on? Dani was angry. She felt like she was being ignored. Her mother put so much effort on coaxing her, but she lost her temper. You know who you despise? Don't you know how our family treated you in the past? You're going to become the first miss of the Kim family now? Mom dragged me to the hotel to say a few words to you, and you were starting to get impatient. And what did you mean by what you said just now? Do you think mom just wants money? Let me tell you, we don't care about that at all. Dani, shut up. What do you know? You know why she came. 50 million won in her heart still didn't live. So she obviously came to demand some more. Tani was angry with her mother and said that she didn't need money anymore. You could tell that Mrs. Yu was complaining about the lack of money and was asking you for more money. You coldly smiled. How much does Mrs. Yu think the Kim family should give you? She immediately held your hand. Actually, we doesn't need that much. Just give me 100 million won. Furthermore, Dani is your younger sister. I hope that the Kim family can take care of her in the future. Your eyes deepened and faintly smiled. You overstimulated my value too much. Why don't you sell me to the Kim family and see if you can get 100 million won? When my mother sold me to the Joan family, she didn't get this price, did she? She was stunned. Back then, when you married into the Joan family, she did receive the money. Even it was millions, but it was not 100 or even 50 millions. She believed that she can get more as you are the daughter of Kim family. Dani was shocked and looked at her mother in disbelief. Today is not the same as before. At that time, you were a divorced wife, do you know? But now it is different. You are the blood daughter of the Kim family. You can ask for more. Dani bit her lips and widened her eyes. Mom, do you mean when she married into the Joan family, she was sold it? Then if she didn't marry at that time, would I also sell it to the person I married? Her mother's expression changed. Dani, the matter is not what you think it is. What do you mean by selling? What you guys are saying? Is it that hiring money when you marry someone, you need to collect the hiring money? Okay. The Joan family is a big family and they pay a high salary. How can there be a reason for them not to collect a salary when they marry their daughters. You had been leaning against the wall all this time and didn't have any additional reaction. Joan family didn't mistreated you for that. Therefore, you had your own privacy at that time. No wonder that Jungkook always think of you as a gold digger. A salary, marrying a daughter requires a sky high salary. Selling a daughters now requires a high price, right? Mrs. Yu, please rest assured you can go breakfast today. As for the specifics, I will inform you when the time comes. You revealed a mocking smile for yourself. You didn't become good daughter of hers. The daughter of hers was too much of a failure, which was why Mrs. Yu wanted to transport you into a money without thinking about your own feelings. Mrs. Yu was not happy to hear, but she once informed that the debts collector are scary and she need to pay, then she went. She was embarrassed herself being greedy. She let Dani accompany you there and went alone. You wanted to reject, but your heart softened a little looking at Dani. She had never knew that you are not her biological older sister, but you both always stayed like one. She is maybe arrogant sometimes, but as she is younger than you, and you really thought of yourself as a married older sister who was willful, you didn't speak and stood on the spot. She suddenly looked at you awkwardly. You don't like me, right? Why didn't you refuse but let me stay? You sighed. Dani, let me ask you. I'm not the Yu family's biological daughter. Did you know since you were young? She widened her eyes. How is this possible? They're also hiding it from me. I only found out about this a few days ago. Her heart was not in ease. I'm really angered to death. You are clearly the daughter of the rich family, yet they brought you back to raise you these years. How much money do they have spent on you? Furthermore, why is that person not me? Why it have to be with you, Kim Wyan? The words that followed were muttered and you couldn't hear clearly. You knew that she was not happy, so you walked to her and comforted. Even you both are not blood related, you still think of you as her elder sister. She faintly smiled. Are you pregnant? Your belly is bigger than normal. Will you children call me aunt in the future? Will you let me be their aunt? Your heart is heavy and you know how much she feeling bad. She have always been pampered and it's the first time she didn't get what she wanted and she can't force it. It is fated. You didn't know how to explain. You nodded and talked randomly. Later on, you felt tired and sleep. She wandered around and felt so uncomfortable. She stayed there long time, eat together with you, then bide goodbye, you were left alone. You stayed there long thinking and wasting time. You need to find a job. Furthermore, although Jungkook had given you the divorce contract, the two of you had not applied for a divorce certificate, so you still has to get a divorce certificate from him. 5 days later, I was staring at his phone screen for long, trying to call someone, but his hand trembled in anger. When the woman doesn't even care, then why would? He stared at the particular number when he got irritated and deleted it from his call log. Useless. His hand tightened around phone. You can't continue be like this, staying here, doing nothing. You have to pull yourself together. You plan to go today to find him. You changed clothes and applied some makeup to hide your pale face. Usually you put light pink lip gloss or don't even put that. But today you decided to put red lipstick. After that you look at yourself in the mirror and felt that this way you could have a bit of aura. You didn't want Jungkook to see you in a sorry state and also don't want him to feel that you will be miserable without him or especially sad for him. Although You are really sad and broken, but you have to hide those things. You smiled at the mirror when you walked out. There was two guards that hide by Mr. Kim. For your protection, you were a little surprised. You are a woman who stayed alone most of the time. Who will target you during this period of time? Maybe some that know you are the first miss of the Kim family. Guards walked you downstairs. You met the same driver that you met 5 days ago. He greeted politely and you nodded at him. Uncle Han, please send me to the Joan group. I was stunned. Miss wants to go to the Jones group. He drive. Wait for me here, Uncle Han. I will return later. He nodded. You get out of the car because you didn't appear here for long. You attracted many employees' attention, but then you were stopped at the gate by the security guards as soon as you walked to the entrance. Miss you? You were stunned. Do you know me? They nodded. Assistant Lee ordered us. You are no longer an employee of the Jones group. You can't go in anymore. A bitter feeling welled up in your heart because you came to the company to look for him that day. So now he even restricted your access to the company. Jungkook, you are really heartless. You swallowed the bitterness in your heart. You have purpose to come here today, so you coldly said, it's fine if you don't want me to go in, then I will trouble you to help me inform Assistant Lee. I have something to discuss with him. They hesitated, looking at each other. I didn't look for your director, Joan. I just looked for Assistant Lee, can't I? I have something very important to discuss with him. I will not make things difficult for you. They nodded. Then wait here. One of them went away. You stood quietly there and heard some people gossiping behind you. Wow, how dare she come again? She has already been ordered not to come. So why is she still so shameless? What did I say? I said before, what young master would get bored of her one day, right? Look, this day comes really quickly. Few walked, mocking, and one of them even bumped purposely. You clenched your fists and tried to ignore it, but you can't endure if they try to harm you. You came here to settle the divorce procedures with him, not to listen others gossip. You stabilized. The girl crossed her arms looking at you. What? You were not convinced? You glared at her for long, then suddenly took out your phone to make a call. Do you need help? Don't forget that you are now an abandoned woman. Do you have any other? Who can help you? She smirked, but quickly her smile disappeared. Hello, 112. This is the entrance of the Jones in Seoul. I want to report. The woman's expression changed drastically, thinking, what was the case you going to report? Suspect for murder, yes. I'm pregnant and the woman wants to murder the child in my womb. Well, I will send you the address. Please come and help me immediately. Woman's expression turned ugly. Was she pregnant with young master's child? Then she came today too. She bit her lips. Pregnant? Are you lying? You even said that I was suspected of killing someone. When did I try to kill you? You scoffed. You didn't try to kill me, but you pushed me just now. If I didn't control myself, any problems would cause to my child after I fell would be your fault. Some of people there was afraid because you really called the police. They are afraid if they will be implicated or even worse that Jones will be fired them because incident happened in the entrance of Jones. So they move aside, leaving the one who bumped into you. She glared at her friends around. What are you guys doing? Can't you tell that this woman is pretending? How could she be pregnant? She might be gaining weight like ugly pig. It's just a lie.